serious.
Stop being a bitch.
All right, Lemonheads, what's up? I'm your boy, producer Fungus. You can follow me on Twitter at ONAPSIH, Hispano backwards. Got my boy Gabe Garcia right here, who just finished writing about the Dolphins, but he's really our full-time Marlins guy, our full-time baseball guy. And also we're joined by Xavier Guerrero, XG Lavos on Twitter. All right, before we get started on the show, guys, I just want to remind everybody that today's show is brought to you by Intelligent, an internationally endorsed athletic cognitive brain training simulation that improves players' decision-making, game time awareness, and opponent anticipation. Intelligent simulates actual gameplay in a digital arena to help players better adapt to the shifting realities of real-time sports. All right, so use Lemon City 15 to receive a 15% discount on all packages when you sign up. All right, guys. Yeah, some sort of background noise, dude.
Oh man, let me mute that. Hey, that Columbus just scored on Miami, dude. They're down 1-0.
No, that's what that background noise is.
You were right about that 1-0 result then.
I hope not. Now I hope it's a 1-1. The background noise is I have 4 kids in a house full of people, but I'm gonna put it on mute right now.
It's all good, man. It's all good. But yeah, man. Let's do what we always do in every show. It's season 8, episode 27, The Evening Juice with Lemon City Live. You know, if you're watching on our Facebook, on our Twitter at Lemon City Live, or you're watching on the 5 Reasons YouTube network. So shout out to at 5 Reasons Sports. Let's start the show how we always start off, man. Phonies and juice. Anybody want to get started with a phony or a juice? Gabe, since you haven't been on in a long time, why don't you go ahead and guys first, my friend.
Well, it's been a hot minute for me.
Yeah, bro.
It's been a while. All right, so for my phony, it's going to be the Tua haters. Man, there's been so much hate on that guy. It's almost crazy. And you know what? I really, really hope he does well this season, because otherwise he's just going to be proving them right. And I really don't want to see that, especially for the Dolphins. Remember tanking for Tua? All that trouble we went through just to get him. Mm-hmm. So hopefully our brand new coach turns him into a good everyday NFL starter.
Great, man. Look, honestly, there have been moments where I didn't think Tua was the guy, and and he hasn't really shown that he's legit the guy, but he has shown flashes. He has shown that he can do it. So I agree with you, man. I think this is the year for him to prove himself, and I hope that he does, man, because it's been a long time for the Dolphins to have that guy, lead us into the promised land, so to speak. So, yeah, man, let's see if Tua can get it done for us, and I'm all aboard the Tua train this season.
Yeah, he's a man.
Yeah, bro.
I'm gonna go soccer related, and my phony is Adidas and the jersey. They've been having some sorry jerseys, and now for Colombia, they got a red jersey that nobody really likes because it reminds them of Venezuela's jersey. It looks like we're trying to be Venezuela and stuff.
Yeah.
It's not ugly, but it's just there's no creativity. Just like the U.S., has like some blah, like they just put out blah stuff for some reason. All these designers, all these ideas, all these things available, and then you just go blah. So that's a phony. That's a phony for me.
Man, that's wild because I thought Adidas World Cup jerseys were really nice. Like Mexico's jersey is really nice. Argentina's jersey is really nice.
I don't think Mexico
Germany's
is really
nice.
I don't think Adidas did. I think it's like a company called Charlie or something. I'm not sure. I could be wrong.
Adidas did Mexico, and it's really nice.
Oh, okay.
It has a lot of I don't know if it's Aztec or Mayan like designs, inspired designs, and it looks really dope.
They probably put some clout behind that and told them, hey, put our heritage, put something. That the Columbia jersey, it's not ugly, but it's just blah. It's like I want it more. In 19 where was it? And Colombia had some fire red jerseys when they tied against.
I remember that.
When they tied against Germany in the final minute. That World Cup, those are nice jerseys. But it's just like blah. So They're my phonies.
I mean, you can't bat 1,000, but I think Germany, out of all the other jersey producing companies, I think Adidas made the best ones, man. Honestly, because the Nike ones or whatever.
Yeah, I love their cleats. I wear Adidas cleats.
Me too.
Especially because they got big, flat feet. So Adidas are good for me. Yeah,
that's funny. But Puma one. The Puma jerseys are the worst ones this World Cup cycle. Oh my god, they look like, I don't know. They look like gamer jerseys. Like, you know how those video game teams now, they wear jerseys when they're playing.
That's it sounds like somebody's hating. Are you hating on those teams, bro?
No. Gaming is what it is. If you're into it, that's cool. I'm not hating on gamers.
Just on
their jerseys. I mean, come on. Nobody's gonna rock a gamer jersey. Well,
I'm gonna rock a gamer jersey next time I see you.
Just to spite me.
Say. Yeah, just to spite you.
I won't say anything, but I'll be thinking, yo, what the fuck is Gabe wearing?
Oh Lord.
But anyways, all right. My phony goes to the NFL because it was reported today that Roger Goodell is going to lead the arbitration on racial bias proceedings. How does that even make sense? It's against the NFL, and he's in charge of the NFL, but he's also going to lead the arbitration for that? That makes zero sense. So
conflict of interest, anybody?
Exactly. And man, I remember when the last agreement came out between the NFL and the Players Association. You know, the Players Association, people were saying that the players got a lot of good things, but one of the things that they couldn't get was to have Roger Goodell be in charge of himself when it comes to these sort of things. You know what I mean? Not have the NFL be their own judge, jury, and executioner when they're screwing up. That's, you know, when there's an independent arbiter, you can't have oversight over that person. That should be their word, should be the final. That's the way it traditionally works. But for some reason, you know, the NFL were able to keep that power, and now nothing happened. Even if the finding shows that they were in the wrong against Brian Flores or whoever else is suing the NFL, nothing's gonna happen to them because they're in charge of themselves. So. NFL, you got the phony. All right, juice. Who's got the juice today, fellas? Go ahead, Gabe.
I'll go first because I love this one. So my juice goes to the Canes because we're about to have some Canes football come this Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right.
That opener is going to be jumping, bro.
Bethune-Cookman, right?
Yep.
All right. I mean, you know, whenever the Hurricanes play Bethune-Cookman or FAMU in the first week of the season, you know, we already know what's going to happen. But what I'm really excited about is to see their marching bands, because Bethune-Cookman and FAMU have great marching bands. Shout out to the Wildcats and the Marching 100. Xavier.
Nice. Well, my juice, like I said a while back, I'm gonna go with Skylar Thompson. Why? Right. Because from the beginning, I thought there was something with this kid. And as a 7th round draft pick, he's come in here. He's played really, really well. Compared to, I mean, you can go back to the last 10, 15 years of Miami drafting quarterbacks in the 2nd round, drafting guys trying to find a replacement. And then we get this kid in the 7th round. Nobody expects anything from him. And he plays big. The moment hasn't been too big for him. Obviously, it's just preseason games. But there's something there. There's so much, you know, there that they're actually keeping a 3rd quarterback. So it's big, and you know, I like that. I think we have something there. You know, I'm not gonna say like Tom Brady 6th round Hall of Fame or anything like that, but you know, maybe we'll get a 7th round steal there.
Yeah, man, that's a good answer. I remember when you brought him up in one of our past episodes, and me and Edwin were kind of making fun of you a little bit. But then he played and he looks good, man. You know, so we gave you your props on that one show that you missed weeks ago.
I wasn't there. You know, I didn't hear it. Yeah, and I said it before he started playing the preseason. You know,
you did.
I went and saw some of the tapes, and then hearing the stuff that was coming out of the reporters. Say, well, there's something to this kid. You know, there's something to this kid. Let's see what can happen. So hopefully they got a steal there.
There we go. All right, so my juice goes to Serena Williams, bro. Dude, she recently announced that she's going to retire. This is going to be her final U.S. Open. She went out there and she just murked, bro. She won her first round match in style, and literally, she was wearing diamond encrusted Nikes, and she yeah, and she dominated the way she's traditionally dominated the game with her serve. She's got a super powerful serve, and it was on full display. When was it? Sunday, Saturday, this past weekend. So
no, that's a great one. That's a great one because she is an athlete that changed the entire game, the fashion, everything about that sport. She changed it. One of those generational players, like at whatever sport that comes along and just changes everything. So after them, it's never the same. Yeah, she's amazing. She's amazing. That's a great one.
Yeah, man. And the cool part was that her daughter was there at the game, dressed exactly like her and sporting the beads and the braids that Serena and her sister used to wear when they first jumped onto the scene. So it was a great moment
there for you.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, it was a great moment. So shout out to Serena Williams. All right, let's get down to it, bro. You guys both mentioned the Miami Dolphins and your juice and phonies respectively. Gabe, you actually covered the game this past weekend. Tell us a little bit about the game, and just your thoughts on the Dolphins, how they looked, and how they performed.
Well, it was, as you know, the last game of the preseason, and the Dolphins thrashed the Eagles. Granted, it was a preseason game, the last one of the schedule, and a lot of the starters didn't play. With that said, I liked what I saw from Tua, and I also liked what I saw from Skylar Thompson. So he definitely earned his spot on the roster. And while I'm on it, I was wondering if they were going to go with Myles Gaskin or Salvin Ahmed. And in the article, I wrote that I was going to give the edge to Gaskin. But at the end of the day, they kept both. So it's a win-win for both sides there. And speaking of, I think they pronounce his name as Sony Mitchell, or I think I said his name right. If not, forgive me. He's no longer with the team. And he
Sonny Michel.
LA. Yeah, he signed with the Chargers. And I'll tell you what I was surprised about. They let go of Lynn Bowden Jr. and River Crocraft. And it's funny because Crocraft was really active Saturday night. He led the team in targets with 7. He made about 4 catches for 54 yards and a touchdown. I figured he made a strong case to stay. And he didn't. They didn't keep him. And then you have Trent Sherfield, if I pronounce his name right. He had 1 catch for 15 yards and pretty quiet night. He made it. But overall, I like what the team was able to put out Saturday night offensively and defensively for a preseason game. Obviously, they're not going to play like that all the time, if ever, during the regular season. But they had a very productive night. They had fun on that field, despite, the tragic news that was revealed at halftime, Jason Jenkins passing away unexpectedly. But for a preseason finale, I'd say it was a very good game, very good analysis of the players, so that way they could determine who to cut and who to keep. Although I'll admit some of the choices they made are surprises and head scratchers.
All right, who do you think is a head scratcher?
I'd say getting rid of Bowden Jr. and Kirkcraft. I thought that they were making a strong Kirkcraft, especially. I thought River was going to stay. He did pretty well. Like I said, he was very active. I'll tell you who I wasn't surprised on making the cut. Elisha Campbell with that pick 6. I'm pretty sure that helped him make it. It was incredible. I love that little move that he made. And that's the only head scratcher for me. The whole Lynn Bowden Jr. and River Crocraft. Yeah. And also they're going with 5 tight ends, by the way. 5 tight ends.
All right, that is surprising actually. 5 tight ends. Sometimes they keep those guys just for trade value. You know what I mean? So maybe they know a team that needs tight ends, and they want to target that team because they like somebody on their roster. So you never know. But as far as the guys that are head scratchers, you said Bowden Jr. Sometimes as they might play decent during the games, and you think they're gonna solidify a spot, but maybe in practice they look kind of shitty, So that might be a reason why they got rid of him. Sometimes the coaches they have a better look at the players during practice. Even in the games they have a better observation of them than we do. So they probably just didn't like what they saw, chose to go with somebody else. Who was the guy that you said had the pick six again?
That was Elijah Campbell.
Elijah Campbell. Man, that's if you are not on the radars of the coaches, or if you're in a big competition with somebody else in your position, that's how you solidify yourself in that 53-man roster, man. Even if you're not going to get playing time during the season, you're on that squad, bro. And it's in the preseason, man. You got to show out.
There's something to the fact that of those 5 tight ends that you say, Gesicki is a tweener. So it wouldn't surprise me that they list him as tight end and he plays a lot at receiver.
Yeah.
Because he's not showing, what he's gonna do. It's a vanilla offense that they show. This guy's gonna come out here against, hopefully it's like the first game that they did the Wildcat against New England that completely caught them off guard.
Yeah.
And we whooped that butt.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's like that in this first game because this guy's gonna come out with everything. And I think there's a surprise with Gesicki. I think he's gonna line up more as a receiver maybe and get some of those mismatches. But
for sure,
it's interesting. This guy is different, just the way he talks, the way he dresses, the way he deals with the players. Yes. Yeah. So the schemes that he's running. So those surprises, he's looking for his people to fit his scheme, and we got to give him his chance. I have a good feeling. I say the same thing for the last 20-something years where we haven't been very good, but something feels different this season. And if it's not a special season, it's the beginning of something, I think.
I mean, honestly, I thought the beginning of something took place when we got Brian Flores. And I think he proved himself by having 2 straight winning seasons.
Yeah, with the talent he had, yes.
Exactly. So, but, what happened, we can't really keep dreading on that. You know what I mean? It sucks. But
sure we can. We're Dolphins fans.
Of course, yeah. You're right. And I think he would have still had success if he was here. But I think the fan base, we're lucky that they replaced him with McDaniel, because I do like McDaniel. I do like what he's doing. And you're right, like how you said, he's got the players seem to like him too. They like how he handles himself. I guess they like the schemes that they're practicing. You know what I mean?
He's got a bag of tricks, and they're gonna let it out against New England. And I can't wait because it's 20 years of frustration of seeing those guys up there being the elite, and hopefully we can whoop some butt and start something down here.
Exactly. So yeah, man, it's a really positive atmosphere, even within the fan base. They sold out their season tickets this year. Now there's a waiting list for next year. That's insane. That hasn't happened. I don't know how long.
Tyreek Hill, man, and all the things they've done, the people they've brought in, they're creating excitement. And before the Dolphins would create excitement, bringing big names for big money, and then they didn't pan out. So let's see how things work out with this guy.
Exactly.
I'm excited for that Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle 1-2 punch.
That's powerful. And then Gesicki too.
Yeah, it's a 1-2-3.
Who are you going to guard? And then you open up for the running game. If you give Monster, did I pronounce his last name correctly?
Yeah, Monster.
You give him space to run with that speed. I mean, he showed a little flash in this last game. So it's we have new toys. I feel like a little kid in Christmas. You got your new bike, you got your new football, you got your new video games, and man, you're hyped. And Christmas it's the greatest day ever. Well, I can't wait for that football to start too. I like football. I love the Inter Miami, but the Dolphins have been, I moved to South Florida in 1979 from Colombia, and obviously the only team around was the Dolphins, and I started watching, and then I've been through the highs, with Marino and McClain and everybody, and now the lows for the last 20 years. So I think it's time to have some fun again, man. Time to have some fun, like Fungus.
Yep. And it's true, man. Like, I think the last piece of the puzzle was figuring out the offense. The defense is straight. The defense is set. Brian Flores came. He created a defense that's going to last us for a few seasons. Last season, the defense was top 10 in turnovers. They were number 8. They were tied for 4th in fumble recoveries. They were 1st in QB hits, 5th in sacks. We have a great defense. And that's that the offense was consistently turning over the ball, and the defense had to stay on the field for a very long time. So all of that together, and the defense still kind of held it down and gave us a winning season. Now the offense, I think what has plagued them the most has been the offensive line. Last season, according to Pro Football Focus, I think it was, we were ranked last. The offense had the last ranked offensive line by Pro Football Focus last season. Yeah. And that's why they brought in Terran Armstead. That's why they brought in Connor Williams. Those two guys were brought in so they can solidify that offensive line. And we don't have to have the number 1 offensive line in the league, but dead last is not what we need to be if we want to win some games. If we were middle of the pack, that's a vast improvement. Multiply that by adding Tyreek Hill, and Jalen Waddle now has an extra season under his belt. Mike Gesicki got paid. He's out there. He's going to ball. So if you add all those things together, I think the Dolphins offense can have a great season as well. And if they're having a great season, then the defense is going to have an even better season than they did last year.
Yeah, they had a really young offensive line. Mm-hmm. I mean, Austin Jackson, when he was drafted, he was 19, and he's not even fully developed. So he's got a couple of he's got some more experience. He's got now a guy that with real experience, Pro Bowl player, that can show him the ropes. And I think that Hunt is a very good young player also. So this is their 3rd season. So I expect a leap in quality from these players, because I think they had the talent, but they were just a little raw and a little young. So, they paid their dues. And so I think they'll be better. I don't think they can be worse. And with the talent around them, it gives them time, because you have to scheme for so many things. It makes it easier for them too. So, and this guy, the coach, he's a guy that schemes and moves and keeps people thinking. Sorry about that. That's my running back out here.
It's all good, man. It's all good.
So, that O-line needs to improve, because as you guys would probably agree, down in the trenches, that's the foundation of the O-line. They're the ones that keep the quarterback upright. They're the ones that give him time, to find his targets. Not only that, for the running game, they open up the lanes. So without that, there's no offense. I know everyone likes to talk about the wide receivers, the quarterbacks, and the running backs. That's true. But it's all about the trenches, man. Your offense's foundation is completely on that O-line. If that O-line can't hold it, you're gonna have a quarterback that gets hurried a lot. He'll make more mistakes. He's got to get rid of the ball really fast. So you know what that means. More potential of throwing an interception, not hitting his guys. And then for the running game, what running game? They're going to be hitting a wall all the time. They're going to have to rely on their own wits and speed just to get past the opposing defenders. They're not going to have any help. So
exactly.
That's and you hit pretty much what's going to hinge on this year. When it comes to the offense, that O-line.
You hit the nail right on the head, bro. When Tua is pressured, he doesn't make great decisions. So they need to give him just a little bit more time, bro. A couple of milliseconds makes a world of difference. Last season, when Tua was under pressure, he had a 52.7 passer rating, dude. That's terrible. Okay? He threw 3 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. You can't have more interceptions than touchdowns. That's not how you win football games, obviously. So, but when Tua does have time, he's shown that he can complete deep ball passes. Contrary to popular opinion, he can do it. He on passes over 20 yards, he was tied for 5th in the NFL with a 40% completion rating. That's very good for a young quarterback.
And he was playing with a coach that we know really didn't care too much for him, and he didn't have a great relationship or too much confidence in his starting quarterback. So Tua's a little bit looser. You've seen him in the press conference. He's he's talking a little bit more. He's got a little bit more of a chip and attitude. Yeah. And this guy believes in him. And as a player at any level, professional or any level, if you ever played a sport and your coach doesn't believe in you, you don't. It's something. It holds you back. But if you have that confidence, from that coach, you just play loose and you let it out. You let it out. So I expect him to have a breakout season. I don't expect him to be, a pro baller, but he's got a lot of skills. I think people hate on him. I think we talked about it the other time. I think they hate on him because he's a nice guy. He's Christian, and now society, goes after nice guys for some reason. But I think he's gonna have a mean streak on the field. So I can't wait for that to start.
I feel you, man. I 100% agree with you. I think he's gonna have a much better season, right? And I think those two offensive linemen are part of the reason why he's gonna have a much better season. He's gonna have a little bit more protection. He obviously has more weapons, and McDaniel is a running game guru, so he's gonna fix that running game. And we have better running backs this season than we did at the beginning of last season. They added some guys last season, and I think they kind of solidified that running back room. So
yeah, for them to let Sonny Michel go, I mean, that's how much he believes in. Myles Gaskin to me has been like an underrated player. I think he's because he's small, but he's a really solid running back. He runs hard,
very shifty,
and he's good, with the passes. And Ahmed, I think, is a really, really good runner too. So they made the team, the young players, and I think we got a solid core, the best we've had in a while.
Yeah, man, I agree. So Dolphins kick off September 11th at home against the Patriots. We got predictions. Gabe, who you got?
For the season?
No, the first game of the season at home against the Patriots.
Well, remembering all those times that we beat them at home, especially against a certain quarterback that I'm not going to name. Yeah,
you can name him.
Who shall remain nameless? Quarterback who will remain nameless.
No, man, fuck that. Tom Brady lost to the Dolphins more than he lost to any other team. Okay,
that's right, baby.
That's right here at home, man.
That is.
He was elite everywhere except for here.
Exactly.
We owned him here. But I'm feeling good about this opening game. So I'm going to say Dolphins 28-14.
Wow.
Defense going to hold it down, and Tua's going to let it rip with two touchdowns and throw for over 200 yards. And please don't kill me if he doesn't make those numbers. Don't sell him on your fantasy team if you have better options, please.
Dude, it's early September. It's a 1:00 game. Those Patriots players are not going to survive the fourth quarter, man. So if it's close in the fourth quarter, the Dolphins are going to run away with it then. But I like your prediction of 28-14. I think it's going to be somewhere around there. I'm going to go 31-10. That's my prediction. Dolphins are gonna take it home.
That's the blender now. I got chaos in the house. 27-10 for me. 27-10 for me. You guys are not gonna ask me on the show anymore. I always have something going on. Now I'm gonna have to get like a solo booth somewhere and rent it. But I'm going 27-10, and cause I think the defense got to show out, and we got to put Big Mac on his butt. 4 sacks. So I'm gonna go 27-10 just to be different for you guys, because I was gonna say 28-10. I don't want to be a 28 guy. I'm gonna say 27-10.
Hey, look, I like 27 because that means that Jason Sanders has to kick 2 field goals, and he's on my fantasy team. So shout out to Jason Sanders. Give me a lot of points this season.
Hey, that reminds me. When's our draft? Because
the Lemon City draft. I don't know. I don't think the Lemon City draft. I don't think we have a date for it yet, but it should be sometime before the Thursday opening of week 1. So
before the season starts,
before the 8th. Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna do the draft the night before. Watch.
I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe we'll stream the draft. Maybe we'll do it live on the show. That's an idea.
That could be good. Maybe you can make it even more spicy and put a 1-minute clock there, so that way you could watch us panic those first couple rounds.
Like the draft.
Make a decision.
Yeah.
And instant reaction and feedback from everyone participating.
Hell yeah, that'd be fun. All right.
The Inter Miami game, there's only a few minutes left, and it's 1-0. And I have predicted a 1-0 game, just not the way I wanted it to be. I didn't say who would win. I said it looked like a 1-0 game, and that's what
it was gonna be
right now.
It was gonna be rough for Miami to win this game, man. They're on the road. They're coming off of a loss. Columbus is coming out off of a great victory against Cincinnati. You know what I mean? So
drops them to 8th right now.
It drops 8th?
Right now, at this moment, it drops them to 8th.
That sucks. And there's only 7 that make the playoffs on each side, right?
Yes. Yeah, we play Columbus again later. We have only a few games left, and we get to meet them again.
But most of our remaining games are on the road, no?
Yeah. The majority are on the road, so they really needed a point here. They still got a couple of minutes left and extra time, so you can't count this team out because they've come before and tied and come through, but it doesn't look good right now.
Damn.
Meanwhile, the Marlins and Tampa Bay are tied 1 apiece at the top of the 10th. That's a fun little game right there in extras.
All right. Marlins are looking, they've had so many injuries and everything this season, and somehow they still find ways to either get blown out or compete. Like, there's no in the middle with them.
Yeah. It's either you get blown out or you lose by 1 run again and again.
Unless Sandy's pitching. If Sandy's pitching, then they got a good chance of winning. They could beat, honestly, when Sandy's pitching, they can beat anybody.
That's for sure.
As they showed last week against the Dodgers. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm surprised he didn't get your juice.
I was gonna give it to him, but the hype at Coral Gables with Mr. Cristobal is so real right now, and oh man, and also
especially with that stadium
here, so I gotta make it count, right?
That's right.
Game ended 1-0, guys.
Oh no.
1-0.
Oh well.
In a few minutes, I'll get off to go to the press conference, and then I'll get back on.
Sounds good. So before we let you go, Xavier, Inter Miami lost last weekend against the Red Bulls.
3-1.
Right? They were on the road. Pozuelo gets red carded early on in the game.
29th minute, yes.
Man, that's rough. I saw the play. He cleated a guy in the chest. It's kind of hard to not get red carded when that happens. But tell us a little bit about the game, and
I wrote about that in the article that game was going to have repercussions, and it did today. You see, we couldn't get on the scoreboard. I think in this game, Miami started off well. Today. Yeah, no. Pozuelo's obviously he's suspended. So, Higuain was maybe very doubtful, but eventually he came out and he played, and he did. He gave it his all. You could tell he wasn't 100%, but he fought through it, and
Neville said
in his presence.
Neville said that he was doubtful for today's game, right?
Yeah, but you know what? They do a lot of fakies with Inter Miami, especially like when they put out the lineup before each game. The lineup is completely different as to how they're the formation. It's the correct players. Obviously, you got to put the starting players, but the formation is never the one that they use, which is hilarious. But yeah, Higuain. When I heard that he was traveling with the team, I had the notion that he's going to play. They're not going to make him travel. This was a very important game, and they went down. So it's a big loss. This loss.
No, hurts. every game from now to the end of the season is important, dude. They're on the edge of not making.
They're on the bubble. They're on the bubble.
Exactly.
And the season is hinging on every single game. Right now, they still have a chance, for the next game, to try to get some points away, then come back home and get a couple games here. But Pozuelo is the key, the catalyst for his team, the one that like Edwin Paprika, he's the one that spices up everything around him. He's the maestro, like they call him. He has the ball and he's so fluid. It's like when you're playing a violin, it calms you. And this guy is a stud, but he made a very, very bad mistake last week. It was not intentional because he's the type of player that, he's a quality player. He doesn't do those things. But the ball came over his shoulder. He put his foot up, and it was a mistake that, you don't expect a veteran like that to make. They originally gave him a yellow card, but they went to the VAR. Sorry about that. That's how we feel about Pozuelo being out. They already gave him a yellow card, but then they went to the VAR, and they turned it red. I mean, the moment they went to the VAR, I knew it was red. It should have been red immediately, but the referee was gonna let it slide, and he did it. That was a tough game too. And then this one, both games, Miami hasn't played bad. In that game, the first 20 minutes, Miami had complete domination of New York. And that happens, and everything else, the whole plan falls apart. In this game, Miami came out pretty good, also looking good, having control. But in the second half, it turned a little bit, and you could see Columbus getting some momentum. But it was one of those games where neither team was really shooting, having clear shots on goal. And Columbus took advantage of one really good play, and they scored and won the game 1-0. I mean, I tweeted it like a few minutes before. I said, because I'm watching the game, I'm saying, look, this looks like a 1-0 game, because it looked it just looked that way. It wasn't going to be high scoring. So both teams were holding back. Both teams were not 100%. And this is a big, big win for Columbus. And it's a tough loss for Miami, but they're not out yet. This is a team that does not quit. It's a coach that doesn't quit, and they're not going to quit. They're going to keep battling. So the season's going to be exciting. If they win again, then they're in the fight again. So it's going to be up and down. Where are we going to be at the end? I don't know. I predicted we would make the playoffs, and I hope they do. All
right. So this Miami plays again when? Not this Saturday, next Saturday.
I think it's September 10th. Yes.
Yeah, September 10th. They're on the road in Chicago.
Yes, and that's a big game too. Another big game, and they can't afford.
And that's a winnable game too. Chicago's.
This one was a winnable game. This one was a winnable game too, and it just sometimes you just don't get the things.
But that should be Chicago's at the bottom. They're second to last in the standings, so that game should be a win. Like it should be check mark it in. You know what I mean? Obviously you can't do that, but yes.
No, that would be great, because then you have 2 at home, I believe. I have to check the schedule, but off the top of my head, I believe there's 2 at home. So if you get 3 points on one and then away
one
again,
and then on the road again.
Okay, well, so if you get that, and then you get hopefully another 3 at home, that's a big swing. That can swing the standings really, really fast.
So they got Chicago on the road, then they're at home against Columbus. Then they got 2 games on the road against DC and Toronto, and then the last 2 games are at home.
Oh, okay. So at least they have the.
So if they're still in the running, if they're still in the running by the end of the season, at least they're at home, and how we mentioned before,
they should be in the running, because everything in this league is so close. Everybody's so even, except for the top guys. Like Philadelphia looks like a team that should be in Europe, in La Liga, and in Premier League or something, because they're just whooping people. 6-0. I mean, they're just playing at a different level right now, and they look like they're the top of the class right now. But anything can happen in a playoff. Playoffs? You talking playoffs? Talking playoffs, baby. I'm gonna get off to go and see what's going on with the press conference, and then I'll shoot you, to see if I can get back in. All right.
Dale.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Take care, man. Thank you.
Bye.
Speaking of losing, the Marlins are losing now, 2-1.
Come on, Gabe.
Oh.
All right, Gabe. You just wrote an article about the Miami Hurricanes, right? About what you can expect from the Canes this season. Talk a little bit about the team. What can the fans expect? What should we look forward to? Like, what's going to be, the guiding light for the Canes this season? And then at the end, I want you to talk a little bit about those stadium renderings that we saw on Twitter.
Oh, those lovely stadium renderings.
Yeah,
I'm just glad they buried the idea of building a stadium on my former, on my high school, Coral Gables Senior High.
Oh yeah.
Not only was that a silly idea, I mean, from a logistical standpoint, I don't know if you've been driving there lately, Gus, but when I drive there and I picture a stadium there, all I could think of is deadlock in terms of traffic. There's no way they could have built it there. Tropical Park makes a little bit more sense, but it's funny because when I get out of work every day, I get off right there. That's my exit right there in front of Tropical Park, and I always picture the stadium now. It's like, man, there's going to be so much traffic here if they build that. But I mean, I don't know. I think that they should just stick at Dolphins Stadium, aka Joe Robbie, aka Pro Player, aka Land Shark, aka Good God. That stadium has so many names, it's not even funny. But yeah, man, I don't know. But back to your question on the Hurricanes, I'm gonna say this right now. The hype, like I wrote in the article, the hype is real. Now it's time to see if the team is too. There's a lot to look forward to. We might be seeing a defense, not the likes of 2017, but a pretty respectable defense, because last year it was terrible, man. I think there was I think 8 interceptions, 6 from the secondary. Only one player had multiple interceptions, which was just 2, by the way. Does that sound like a good defense to you?
Mm-mm.
And they gave up about 28.2 points a game. That's a lot of points.
Yeah.
You don't win too many games like that unless you have like a stellar offense there led by a future Heisman winner and a couple other elite pieces of guys that go in the first round of the NFL draft. That defense isn't going to win you games, like for sure.
Exactly.
And on the offensive side, they have lots of weapons. That offense is stacked. They've got plenty of weapons on wide receiver. Running back, they're a little bit with Citizen getting injured and also Don Chaney Jr. I would say that the running back position's a lot thinner now, but they'll be good with Rooster. They'll be good with the transfer. I think his name is Parrish.
Okay.
He's going to help too. I mean, if Rooster can't get it done, he's going to. And then pretty much the main reason that the team is even ranked in the first place, TBD. It's the Van Dyke show, man, and he's the star. And if you think he had a really good season last year, he's pretty much primed for a very special season this year. So
I'm surprised the Hurricanes are ranked as high as they are. 16. That's not bad.
And that's because of TBD.
Yeah,
because of Van Dyke.
Considering what they were last season, it's not bad.
Yeah, and there's a lot to look forward to. They're the favorites to win the Coastal. They are more than likely going to lose to Clemson, but it looks like
I don't know, man. I mean, yeah, you're right. But Clemson is they're not the same Clemson.
I would like for them to beat Clemson, but at the end of the day, I'm not a cheerleader. And to be honest, I think
Clemson is not the same Clemson. Clemson is not the same Clemson. See, I wouldn't be surprised if the Hurricanes are better than us cynical fans think they are, because it happens. You know what I mean? You get used to your team sucking for a while, and then all of a sudden they pull one out. Maybe they'll be good this year. Who knows? And if they are,
right now, there's one thing that I'll tell you this: 2 things that really hurt us last year was the lack of tackling and a lot of drop passes.
Yeah,
the tackling is going to improve. The drop passes, let's hope that it improves because it don't look good right now.
Who's Miami's star wide receiver?
Star wide receiver? Ooh, man, you know what? To be honest, star wide receiver. You know what? To be honest, I want to see who emerges as a star wide receiver because I'm not sold 100%. I'll tell you this right now, not necessarily wide receiver, but you know who really needs to step up now that you said that? Mallory. He plays tight end. I remember a couple games last year that he was wide open, only to drop the pass. That guy right there needs to step up. And then we also have Arroyo, if I'm not mistaken, that he's also a tight end. So if the wide receivers struggle, they're going to go with 2 tight ends, which is fine. I'm pretty sold on that. But in terms of the star wide receiver, I'm actually thinking about it because we don't have Rambo.
Yeah, if you have a star quarterback, what good is he without a star wide receiver? Or
what good is he without a good O-line? Like I said for the Dolphins, man, with no O-line, there's no offense. And to be honest, I want to see who sticks out because I could give you like a name right now, but until the season starts, I'm not, really sold on anyone 100%. If you want an answer now, I'd say Keyshawn Smith.
Okay,
I would go with Keyshawn Smith and Xavier Restrepo.
What is it about those 2 guys? Why are they leading the pack, you think?
because they've had a good fall camp. They've been pretty good. The drop passes are still an issue, and it's not just Restrepo and it's not just Keyshawn. It's the whole unit, including the tight ends. And they've said that as a whole, drop passes continue to be a consistent problem. And that's going to be the name of the game for the wide receiver core. It's going to be all about consistency. And that's the part that has me a little bit concerned, because I don't know, man. I feel like we're gonna see that every once in a while. And that's part of the reason why I don't think that they're able to win the ACC against Clemson. I don't think they're going to do – I hope they do decent against Texas A&M, but I feel like since it's early in the season and, they have to work out the kinks still and get used to playing, live games, because the first 2 games of the season are cupcake games. A&M is going to be Texas A&M, the Aggies. That's going to be their real test. That's how fans are going to gauge where they're at. And I feel like right there is where we're going to see problems of consistency in terms of catching the ball, because you can't compare Bethune-Cookman's secondary versus the Aggies. Now imagine when they take on better secondaries from, Bethune-Cookman and all those other teams. Wait until they take on ACC opponents like Pittsburgh. Let's see how they do there.
Yeah.
And I personally think that they'll do fine on offense, but if you wanted my 2 star players, because it's not 1 to me, it's 2, it's going to be Keyshawn and it's going to be Xavier Restrepo. But we'll see. We'll see, because I want to see who steps up. Somebody has to. And if they don't, the tight ends are going to have to. And that's going to be squarely on Arroyo and Mallory.
All right. So what are expectations for this season under new coach Mario Cristobal, who came in here to bring back the U? I feel like we say this every time we get a new coach, but he's part of that old guard that had success. So what do you expect out of him? What has he shown?
When I was writing that preview, I kept saying to myself, or asking myself, what does a successful first year of the Cristobal era look like? And spoiler alert, I wrote in the article that they were going to win 9 or 10 games. They were going to capture the Coastal, snatch it from Pittsburgh towards the end of the year, because they play them at the end of the year. Yeah. And dang it, the Marlins lost. And they were going to finally win a bowl game, because it's been a while since they've won a bowl game. And that's what I honestly think is what's going to happen that first year. They're going to win – I think they're going to win 10 out of their 12 games. I really do. Right. I think their 2 losses is going to be against Clemson and Texas A&M. I know it's like a huge bar, but I think they're fully capable of losing these 2 games.
Honestly, that's a successful season.
That's a successful season no matter who's at the helm. But for Cristobal, I feel like that's pretty much what because the hype is that high. I feel like for Cristobal, it's no less than 9 wins. No less than 9 wins.
All right. So what happens if he does get less than 9 wins? What'll happen to him? What'll happen to the team?
Nothing's going to happen to him, and nothing's going to happen to the team simply because it's his first year. We have huge expectations. That's true. But the fact of the matter is this is his first year. And remember, there's brand new staff. Yeah. We've got a new offensive coordinator. We've got a new defensive coordinator. We have new coaches. It's his people.
Isn't Jason Taylor on the coaching staff?
Jason Taylor on the coaching staff?
Isn't he? I feel like he's coaching somewhere.
He's not on this staff. I'll tell you this right now.
No?
He's not on this staff. I mean, for offensive coordinator, it's Josh Gaddis. You've got Kevin Steele for defense, who's also being helped by Charlie Strong. He's the co-defensive coordinator and the linebackers coach. I mean, no, he's not here. That's for sure. But if he wants to help us out, he could.
I could have sworn he was on the coaching staff. Oh well.
But hey, you never know, man. Depending on the situation, there might be an opening next year, especially if this team wins less than 8 games, for example. But on a more serious note, if they somehow win 8 games or 7 games and they blow a couple,
he's affiliated. He's affiliated with the team.
Huh?
He's on board as a defensive analyst.
A defensive analyst, yeah.
Yeah. For the team, though.
Yeah. But when it comes to like the staff, he's
he's not on the field, but he's technically part of the staff.
Hey man, as long as I run into him at the Hard Rock, it's all good. He could be on the staff. He could be the head coach for all I care.
Yeah, you might see him. You might see him by the press box.
Yeah,
he might be one of those coaches that stays up in those not press box, but in the rooms up there, but in the suites.
I would not be surprised. I'm pretty sure he would be up there with Steele and Strong, which is kind of funny. I love that our coaches for defense is Steele and Strong. Let's see if it proves right. If it matches their namesake.
We'll see, man. Maybe the pun will work out for us.
Yeah. What do you think? You think they're gonna match the hype and win 10 games, or you think they're gonna win less?
I don't know, man. Obviously, Cristobal has shown that he can coach at the highest level. You know, he did very well at Oregon, and I think he would have continued to improve Oregon had he stayed there. But his heart was in Miami. He came home, and I feel like he's gonna do a good job here. Maybe it's a tougher mountain to climb over here, and it's gonna take him a little longer. But I feel like he'll eventually get it done for this season. Maybe I was surprised that they're ranked 16, but if they just do what they're supposed to, then they should win 10 out of those 12 games because they're only outranked by Texas A&M and Clemson. You know, Pittsburgh is ranked 1 behind.
And they play them both on the road, and so that's going to be a disadvantage. If they were playing at home, well, I still don't think they would win, but the
puncher's chance
probably be a little bit closer.
Yeah.
That home field, man, it's not everything, but it goes a long way in winning. And then they end the season with Pittsburgh, and that might be their most important game of 2022 because it could very well determine who takes the Coastal, and that's going to be at the Hard Rock.
Exactly, and then if they do that, they get another trip to the ACC championship, and that should be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, for Clemson.
I don't. Even if obviously, Clemson is the big dog in the conference right now, but they're not. I'm telling you, they're not the same Clemson. Of course, they're gonna more than likely win the game, but it's not gonna be that shellacking that it was last time. It'll be.
We'll see how November 19th goes.
Yeah.
Let's say the game is close. let's say the game is close, or maybe it's a 14-point difference. Then we can start saying that, but
maybe it's not. Maybe it's not close. Maybe they still lose by 28, but they're not gonna lose by 40 something like they did.
Oh, I don't know, man.
Whatever it was,
you never know because
it was embarrassing.
You never know because one of the important aspects of any team's success throughout the season is depth, and when what affects depth, a team's health. I mean, we just saw it with the running back core. We just lost 2 people.
Yeah.
Now it's falling onto Rooster, and it's falling onto Elijah.
But you know what Clemson doesn't have that they've always had? They don't have star power. They don't have star. Who's their starting quarterback? I don't know. This is the first time that we don't know that I can't say who their starting quarterback is. They had Trevor Lawrence before, not last season, but they had Trevor Lawrence for a while, and before that they had Deshaun Watson. You know what I mean? So they've had that star power at that position and other positions for a long time. This is the first season where I can't name anybody on that squad.
Yeah, and we've got TVD, which is the reason why we're ranked 16. But
exactly. So that little nugget alone gives the Canes a puncher's chance.
Oh, I don't know, man, because there's a saying: a team cannot rely on one player, and in football,
Facts.
that goes.
That is one that football is the truest that statement is. You know what I mean? That statement is truest in football than any other sport. But still, man, there's got to be something to be said about that. All right, man. I think we are done for today, unless you have any final thoughts.
Let's see. My final thoughts. Well, my final thoughts are, venturing really quick to the Marlins. Hats off to Sandy. He's going to win the Cy Young.
He better.
He better. But there's other people that say no, they're not gonna pick a guy from a losing team like the Marlins to win the Cy Young.
You can't blame him for all the days that he doesn't pitch.
Yeah, he can't pitch every day, right?
Exactly.
And because if he pitched every day, I'm pretty sure the Marlins would be a 100 win team. And it's just been a really disappointing season there. I'll write an article about that pretty much to the end, summarizing this really painful 2022 season. God, we started off with so much hope in the beginning. So much hope.
Yeah, Jazz got injured.
No, injuries have been a problem. The offseason acquisitions are a total failure. And we didn't do anything at the trade deadline either. And then, not to harp on that too much, moving to, Dolphins, I'm really excited for the Dolphins. Actually, I'm going to give my prediction for their season. So when it comes to the AFC East, it's going to be a 2-horse race, and the Dolphins ain't one of them, unfortunately.
Really?
They're going to be bystanders for the most part, but they're going to finish with a winning record at 9-8. Worst case scenario, 7-10. One of the biggest questions is whether or not Tua can turn into a legit NFL starter. Hopefully, Mike McDaniel can help there. And then when it comes to the Canes, I'm just looking forward to the games mattering, because now we get to see these, especially with Bethune-Cookman, where they are for their opening game. And then eventually when they take on week 3, Texas A&M on the road, that's a good team and it's a road team. Like I said, we're going to see what they're made of. Chances are we're going to, we're going to get our butts kicked. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's pretty badly, because we're good, but we're not just there yet. But overall, man, I'm pretty excited for the Dolphin season, even though they're not going to win the AFC East, not even close. But at least we'll be ahead of the Jets. And
first of all, Dolphins have had winning records the past 2 seasons, and now after all these offseason acquisitions, they look better. Their offense looks better than it ever has, and you're giving them less wins? That doesn't make any sense to me, dude. I think the Dolphins are gonna have fucking 11 wins, dude.
11 wins? Oh, someone's drinking the Kool-Aid. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, dude.
I have them at 9-8, and worst case scenario 7-10.
All right, 9-8 is exactly what they did last season. If they're better this season than they were last season, how could they have the same exact record?
Because the games still need to be played.
Yeah, they do need to be played, and we're making predictions. And I predict that they're going to win more games.
You predict they're going to win 11 games, really? You're basically saying that they're going to win the AFC East.
No, Buffalo could still win with the Dolphins winning 11 games.
I don't see them winning not even 10 games. It's going to be 9-8.
Dude, they won 10 games. They won 10 games with a much shittier team.
Yeah, they got better, but so did all the other teams.
No, they did not all get better.
Well, the Jets didn't get better, but it's basically going to be Patriots and Bills for the East.
Patriots are in people's minds because of, the past 20 years, but they're not the same Patriots, man.
No, of course not. To me, it's going to be the Bills winning the division, but like I said, they're going to be dogfighting it. I honestly think that we're just going to play spoiler. Especially to the Patriots later in the year, because I think we play them in December at their house. Yeah. And, if we beat them there around that time, that's going to really suck for their chances. And, man, I honestly think it's going to be a dogfight between the Patriots and the Bills, with the Bills taking the division. Okay. I'm pretty confident in that. And Jets falling in last place. We'll see about how the Dolphins do, but I'm pretty confident on the Bills winning the division and the Jets coming in last. We'll see how the rest shakes out, right?
All right. Before we go, I got something for you. All right, Gabe, listen to this. It's August 29th, 2001. 2001, okay? I was a senior in high school. Serena Williams wins at the U.S. Open. Albert Pujols hits a home run. And Vlad Guerrero Sr., Craig Biggio, and Dante Bichette all record a hit. Okay.
Just so you know, Pujols is getting closer and closer to that 700 home runs.
Oh, I know. He needs to do it this season.
I think he will. Right. I mean, we still got the rest of September.
Wait, don't interrupt me, goddammit. It's fast forward. It's August 29th, 2022. Okay. Serena Williams wins at the U.S. Open. Albert Pujols hits a home run, and Vlad Guerrero Jr., Kevin Biggio, and Bo Bichette all record a hit. How crazy is that? That Serena Williams and Albert Pujols do the exact same thing 21 years apart, and then Biggio, Bichet, and Guerrero, them and their offspring do the same thing on the same day, 21 years apart. What are the odds of that, bro? That is insane.
It's pretty crazy. I mean, wow, what are the odds of that? By the way, you showed how old we are. Like, man, you made me feel old.
Yeah, because we were in high school when we were seniors in high school when that happened.
No, you were a senior. I was a freshman, my friend. I
thought you were my age. You're not my age, Gabe?
No. Bro, I'm 18 with 25 years of experience.
All right, I dig it.
By the way, the math isn't right there. I just added 25 years there for fun. But
that's all right.
Because that would make me older than you, I think. But funny enough,
Yes.
it's Serena that's retiring this year, right?
Yeah, man, this is her last.
You know who else is retiring?
Albert Pujols.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny that in the same year that they achieved those feats, it's the same year that they're retired together. They're retiring the same year. So what are the odds of that?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Also, I got something else for you. This is for you, and this is for your cousin Edwin. On this day, Gabe, in 1990, guess what happened? Ken Griffey Jr. and Ken Griffey Sr. become the first father and son to play on the same team, and the pair hit back-to-back singles in the first inning, and both scored.
Quick question. Do you happen to know where they were hitting in the lineup? Because I know you said back-to-back singles, but where were they in the lineup?
I don't know. I don't have that information. It was the first inning, so I assume they were, closer to the front.
Probably 2 and 3, right? 2 and 3 or 1 and 2 slots?
Probably 2 and 3. I would assume they're putting Ken Griffey Jr. in the 3 spot to, clean up or whatever.
Growing up as a kid, I'm going to say this really fast, but growing up as a kid, I really hated Ken Griffey Jr. And do you want to know why?
Because Edwin loved him so much.
No, not even. Edwin has nothing to do with it.
Why? Tell me why.
At least not in this case. Edwin has everything to do with me hating the Atlanta Braves, but growing up, that is. Now I don't have hate for them. But you remember a movie called Little Big League?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So basically, Randy Johnson and Ken Griffey Jr. are in it. They do their cameos, starring themselves, and because of Ken Griffey Jr., the good guys of the movie lose. The Minnesota Twins get eliminated. So that's why I didn't like the ending of the movie, and I put complete blame on the movie sucking on Ken Griffey Jr., and I hated Ken Griffey Jr. for the next 10 years of my life.
Oh, man, that's hilarious. You're like the only person that hates Ken Griffey Jr. That's so funny.
No. Hated.
Okay,
Jr. I have utmost respect for that guy, but
there you go.
Yeah, man. You have to remember when I was a kid, I hated Ken Griffey Jr. I was already hating on the Atlanta Braves. Soon I was going to hate the New England Patriots. Man, that I hate the Buffalo Bills back then too.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah. All right, buddy. I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. Make sure you tune in next week as Plug Top Boys get started on Monday. And we'll see you next week. Gabe, you got anything to say to our fans out there?
Go Canes. Go Marlins. Edwin sucks and Fungus. How about that?
Okay. Later.